Welcome back to From 9 to Mom,
where we discuss balancing the 9 to 5 hustle with this beautiful chaos that we call motherhood.
And today we have our very first in podcast studio guest, I get to say now.
I'm jealous.
But Veronica Curley's here with us today. She is really the best babysitter in the entire world, I feel like. I have to plug that. But a mom of 3, she's in the childcare industry, how many years now?
18
years. Works primarily infants up to kindergarten. But most recently, she's become a certified nutrition health coach, which we're really excited to talk about more today. So thank you for joining and being on here with us.
So excited.
Yeah.
So I want to dive right into it. And you said 18 years in childcare.
Yeah.
I don't know how you've done it that long, but how did you get started?
So I started, my kids were 6 months, 3 and 5. And I just knew that it was something that was in me. It was like, I had it like tucked in my back pocket. I was like, I wanted to work somehow and help financially, with our household. But I also wanted to stay home at the time and be able to be home for the kids. So, an opportunity came. We were new to the area and I was in the mom's club, and there was a mom there that knew someone that needed emergency sort of childcare. And I was like, well, let's see if this works out. And 18 years later, like you said, here we are.
We've gone through multiple rounds of kids at this point. But so you said the kids were young when you kind of started that journey. What were you doing before that?
So before, I was working full-time in retail. I worked at Old Navy. I was a manager at Old Navy. And we also lived in Maine. So I was working full-time. I don't know, retail hours are all the time.
I'm really excited right now because that's what I did before kids.
I know, that's what I was like that. I didn't actually know that that's what she did before that, but I was giving her a little bit of your background, Danielle, working in Target, and kind of similar story for you. Like once kids kind of came in the picture, like those hours are just
intense, changing every week. I was lucky. My parents were really close. They were able to help a lot. And my husband's job is very flexible, so that helped as well. But we moved to New York, and that was my biggest thing to get me to move to New York, away from my family, away from the ocean. I was like, okay, but I'm not working.
Yeah,
that's a huge change.
And that worked for a while, but I knew eventually that it would be something. And then I knew that childcare thing. I always knew I had to be able to do.
It's a special trait, I'd say, for sure.
Yeah, not everybody can do that.
It's a common theme. I think everyone says, I don't know how people do this all day when they're watching their own kids on the weekend or something. But and then so now you have that certification of nutrition health coach. What kind of got you working towards that most recently?
So I would say over the past 10 to 15 years, I've just been, super just intensely researching, and with so much more available social media wise, and just being available out from the internet, information, just diving into that and learning more myself. But I really wanted to find a place where I could, I don't want to learn all my information from Instagram. I wanted a real, I was ready to learn. I just wanted to. And sort of had that same feeling of knowing I could do the childcare, knowing this is something I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to. And so I found this school online. It was a year-long program, all online. I figured I can do this right alongside, the childcare, and do it at night and on weekends. And it worked out really well. It was an amazing program.
Awesome.
Did you find it really challenging to do the program while you were still running the other business, and then also you have your own family?
Yes, it was definitely a challenge, and especially because, it is all online, all on the computer, which I have to admit I am not very savvy with. So luckily my two older daughters were, very able to help me. I was really nervous when I had my first test because it's been a minute since I had to take a test.
Yeah.
But fitting it in the timing and, between everything going on. So
making it a priority.
Well, good for you. Congratulations. That's a big.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I know we want to kind of dive into, and I know Danielle's itching to ask, and, some of what we wanted to talk to you about today is we're obviously getting back to school. Danielle's son starts kindergarten next week, which I can't believe we're saying.
Me either.
And you're going to be packing lunches over there, Danielle.
Which I've never done.
Yeah. And we want to talk a little bit about like what to pack, healthy lunches. I've seen like videos online of people like timing their kids at the table, like making sure they can peel their own banana and like all those things. But we wanted to get a couple tips on back to school lunches, what to pack, how to keep it healthy, and where to start, really.
I know. It's very overwhelming. And even after this past June when I packed my last.
I know. So sad. Your last school
My
lunch.
last school lunch and, still reminding myself like to do things at night and what, so it gets very overwhelming but it does, it doesn't have to be. And I always go back to like, keep it simple. Like, and so first, like making sure before they start, like, and the lunchbox, a lot of people like the bento lunch boxes. If it works for you, if it works for your child, whatever works best for you, making sure they can open the compartments, they can know, what little each compartment's going to be, even the packaged snacks, granola bars, any of the chip bag type things, like those are hard to open. So just any like practice with those is definitely helpful. Juice boxes, milk boxes.
I forget about the milk boxes like that they give with the lunches, like little kids opening that. I feel like they do have assistants there, but how has it been going for you, Danielle? Have you practiced with Colton?
So we've been practicing opening things for sure. So we got really good at certain things. And then I bought these new gummies because I thought they were a healthier version. We could talk about that after. So I thought they were healthier and he tried to open them and they're so hard. Like I even struggled opening them. So I'm like, these are not a good, I'm so glad I tried though with him.
Yeah, see,
because these are not good. And they have a very short amount of time, like you said, for lunch. And if they don't know, and then you mentioned the bento, Bentigo, whatever that brand is. So I bought a lunchbox and then I bought it's a bento box, but it's not the name brand one. And I tried fitting it into the lunchbox I got. It didn't fit. So I had to get a different lunchbox because there's no way the lunchbox I originally fit, it wouldn't fit his whole lunch. It wouldn't be big enough. And he's 5. He forgets everything. If it can't fit his water bottle. So I ended up buying one and like splurging. It has my mom got it for him. They got a crossbody thing with a holder for the water bottle, and it's much bigger with his name on it, so he can't forget anything. He'll still forget something, right? But that's like such like a crazy thing. You don't think about that, right? Like, is it all going to fit? Are they going to be able to open it? And now my thing is, I'm nervous because at his daycare, he's always had private chefs, and they're very health conscious, so the food is even better than what he eats at home. And now I, who can't cook, I'm going to be responsible for making these lunches. There's limited time. There's limited space. There's limited money. So like, what's a good balanced, like true, like honest lunch that a kid would actually eat that is giving them the nutrition they want or need?
Right. So again, like keep it simple. It's the lunchroom, especially these first few weeks, first month. If you like think like it's so overwhelming for them, right? It's loud. They're sitting next to all, like their friends. They haven't been able to talk all morning. They finally can. And they have such a limited time. It can be so quick of the time that they have. Mm-hmm. So definitely familiar foods, not the time to, want to be trying anything new or throwing something in there that they've never had. Yeah. I like to think of like, okay, we're going to have a fruit, a veggie, protein, and then either like a carb or snack type of thing. And also like it's one meal. Like you said, you were nervous about like, you're not a good cook. He's had all these meals prepared for him before. Like you can start the day, a good, nutritious, healthy breakfast, high protein, yogurt, scrambled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, I feel like sending them off, like knowing that they've had that to start. Okay, if you don't eat your lunch, you're not hungry, it's not the end of the world. Okay. They're going to bring home that full lunchbox, and the more you like stress over it and show them that stress, I think that it can kind of go the wrong way and go down the thing. But
I feel like I'm going to be good with Jack because I'm pretty sure he'll eat a peanut butter and jelly every day for his entire life.
That is like, send a peanut butter and jelly every day. Yeah. Nothing wrong with sending the exact same thing every day. They're comfortable with it. They know what to expect. A lot of kids like to know what to expect in their lunch. So
yeah. Well, that kind of was another question of ours, is like prepping, like how do we put the school lunches into meal prepping? Like you were saying, when you packed your last school lunch, like remembering to do it the night before. Yeah. Like I remember my mom getting up and like rushing around sometimes in the morning to do it because she just didn't have time at night. Yep. And doing it quick in the morning and just trying to get anything in a Ziploc bag out the door.
I know. I love to keep a list, like sort of like you would make a grocery list. Yeah. But just easy snacks that they like, easy things that you can make for lunch, stick it on the side of the refrigerator, because I even would find myself like, oh, I know I bought like all this stuff for your lunch. What was it? Like, and then I just look at the list and I'm like, oh yeah, we have this, we still have cheese sticks, we still have the yogurt. And that was really helpful. Yeah. Prepping, if you can prep whatever you can the night before, if that works for your family, like some people are morning, they like to, be up an hour or 2 hours before the kids, get everything ready for themselves, make the lunches. If that works for your schedule and works for you, do it. If you want to get everything, like as you're cleaning up dinner, there's leftover dinner, there's some leftover things, you want to just pack it up for lunches, like, and get that all done while the whole, dinner and finishing and clean up, while that's happening. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be a nighttime prepper because my mornings,
I feel like
I never know what to expect.
Like it's so chaotic already in the morning. I can't imagine adding in like making the lunch. I already forget to make my own lunch, like to come to work. Like I barely bring. I feel like I'm like, does everyone have everything they need? And then I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll get here and I'll be like, oh, I forgot my lunch.
I was just checking in with my sister while we were visiting in Maine, and she's still in the lunch making. She's got a 6-year-old and a 3.5-year-old. Yeah. And that was one of her biggest things, is prep as much as you can at night. Yeah. And also it's, if you try to think of like, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, send the same thing. Yeah. Tuesday, Thursday, switch it up just a little bit.
So I've heard that, and I think that that's like so smart. I would have never thought to do that. But
it kind of makes it an easier thought process, I think, for, the parents thinking like, okay, we know Monday, Wednesday, Friday is going to be this. And Tuesday, Thursday doesn't have to be completely different, just, a different fruit or the different veggie, like, and I think, prepping wise and different things, I love to use the freezer.
Okay.
Muffins are like kind of my go-to staple. They're just such I don't know, I like to say vessel for carrying a lot of different, really good ingredients, like protein, like you can get eggs, cheese, in those any veggies too, in those little egg muffins. And those also freeze well. Any fruit muffins, banana, raspberries, extra fruit. Yeah. Easy to like throw in, make a muffin.
If you have any good recipes, share them with Catie and I so we can share them with everyone else, because that's kind of like what school does. They hide, like we have cupcakes there and there's like hidden veggies in the cupcakes. I'm like, how did you do that?
Like, okay, I need that. But you do a lot of Pinterest
I have a lot of saved on Pinterest. Yeah. My other, because I'm making a lot, and it's easy, I guess, if you want to make the little mini muffins are great. But I also will do, just take the whole muffin batter right on a sheet pan and then cut them all into sticks, because we love dipping into things. So, one of our favorite dips is plain Greek yogurt mixed with, peanut butter or almond butter is an easy swap if you can't do peanut butter. A little bit of real maple syrup mixed in to sweeten it a little bit, but makes a really good fruit dip. Banana sticks, like we call them, our muffin sticks. So
I'm trying to think.
That's a good hack to do a big batch at once.
Sure.
Freeze them. I'll cut like, I laugh because I still was doing this for my 18-year-old with the pumpkin muffins, but like cut them up and put them in the individual bags, like whatever it is, 3 or 4 like muffins or sticks into the bag, and have those in the freezer. So I'm just pulling out the bag. They're already portioned. Think of it, it's kind of it's hard to do at the time. You're like, oh, I don't have time. And then when you're pulling them out in the morning already frozen, and you're like, oh, just throw these in the lunch. This was so
that is very smart.
I feel like even the dipping, if you do have the bento box, like a little dip in there would be, Colton might like that.
Yeah.
Is he super picky, Danielle? Colton
is a pickier eater. So he's getting better because we're forcing it a little bit, but also kind of what you said before, like if he'll eat the peanut butter and jelly and that's what he wants every day, like at least he's eating something. But I like the idea of, like, for picky eaters, hiding good ingredients and things that they like. Colton loves mini muffins. I would have never thought to make the healthy muffins in advance and freeze them and like put them in the baggie just like the other ones. He'll think it's great. He loves French toast sticks. Like, he doesn't know what's in there. So I'm definitely using that.
Yeah, I think that is another thing with picky eaters, is like trying to find what they do. But I think you gave a lot of good tips of like safe foods, you know, something that they're going to expect in their lunch. But what other tips do you have for us?
I like, don't go by the Instagram lunches. You don't have to like make it fun and cute, and then they'll eat it. Like
cookie cutters,
all the cookie cutters. Like if you want to, if you know, whatever, you can. But definitely an easier thing I like is the little like toothpick type things that you can get that are, you know, kid friendly, with little shapes on the top. And then stick those, you know, in the blueberries, or so that they can use that at school, making it fun to like pick up the food and eat it with that.
Like little shish kebab, little fruit things.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
The silicone muffin cups, all the different colors. Those are good to add into the lunchbox or a bento box, just for a divider. Yeah. It can add a little color.
This on. Taking notes.
Those are really good to use. A little more fun.
Are you taking notes over there?
Yes, I am. My kid's going to school next week. Like, I am like, I want him to eat, and I don't want him to have the most boring lunch ever. And I bought lunch, so this is great.
This is one of my favorite hacks, is for the apples. And you've probably seen and heard lots of different tricks that you can see on Instagram. And I swear by like a salt bath for the apples.
Oh, okay.
If you cut them all, put them in ice water with salt. Let them sit there, go give the kids a bath, whatever you need to do. Come back, rinse them all off, portion the apples. I can do like 5 or 6 bags of apples for the whole week. They don't brown.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know
salt bath.
But yes.
I'm trying it tonight. I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay.
You're like, I'm on this.
Yeah, like, so this is very helpful, because I think, Katie, you and I both have some picky eating situations, like, or more like specific. They know what they like and what they want. So
yes,
I think that this, and then sometimes, like you said, for prep, like strawberries go bad so fast. So I started doing the mason jar trick, where I put it and they last way longer.
In the glass to keep them in. Yes.
So salt bath, I'm trying it. I'll let you know how it goes. But also, Katie, before we run out of time, I do want to talk about like nutrition for us too.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my next questions, because we have, you know, Danielle and I are approaching that school age, but then I know we have a lot of new moms out there, and like that nutrition for new moms. Like I already said, I forgot to pack my own lunch. Like a lot of people with newborns, we're forgetting to eat and take care of ourselves. But what are some tips when we're in the grind here of work and kids and that, like what's the best to take care of ourselves?
And I go by this, and I still remind myself this every night, or like, it's, if you've heard of like the firefighter analogy, or in the airplanes when they tell you to like, you have to put your mask on first before you can help everybody else. Like if you prep one thing, like if you're thinking on like Sunday night or Monday, Tuesday, whatever day of the week works best for you to prep, like one thing for you, one thing for your kids. That doesn't make it overwhelming. Hard-boiled eggs are like an easy, quick, there's no ingredients, there's nothing that you have to do special. And they can go a long way and used in so many different ways. Another good one is like a rotisserie chicken.
My favorite.
So many different things, either in the Instant Pot or you buy it from Costco. It's so many good, throw it in a salad or in a wrap. Little pieces cut up into the lunchbox for the kids. It can be cold. You can eat, cold, or
we've had a lot of rotisserie chicken this summer.
And just remember, like for myself, and I think this can go for a lot of moms in a lot of different situations. I know that when I have something ready for myself, whether it be my breakfast or my lunch, it makes everything else and all the other activities and prepping for everybody else go so much smoother. I think just knowing that I have that one thing that's ready for me that I did. And it's so hard to remember that and do that, especially when the kids are younger and you're really in that, like you don't have time to do anything for yourself. But even if it can be, just that one thing, or fill your water bottles before you leave for work. Like get prep your smoothie for the morning.
That's such a good point too. Cause I feel like if I start the day right, then I end the day right. But if I start the day like garbage, then I just say like, screw it, I already messed up. Like, let's just keep this train going.
Or if you're frazzled yourself, it carries right over to the kids. Sometimes it can easily, I think. And so that morning is important.
Yeah. It's such a battle too in the morning. I feel like I need to just have stuff that I can grab and go. So honestly, I'm not joking. The rotisserie chicken has been great and the kids have been liking it. So that's why it's been such a staple. So I'm finding myself trying to eat more of like, they say like the kids should adapt to what you're eating, and I'm adapting to what the kids are eating. It's just more like what's prepped though and like ready to go. Makes it easy. So we talked a lot about those, but so now as a certified nutrition health coach, what are some of the things that you can help families, moms, with and as far as planning and those types of things?
So being like a family in that grind that we talk about, nutrition is one part of it. There's so many more aspects, and I want to be that person that is there for the family or the mom, my client, in real life, somebody that is holding you accountable. If you're working towards just more nutritious, healthful goals yourself or for your kids, for your family, I can be that person that can work right alongside with you and know, more into like even the stress and give you tips and tricks for how to deal with that. And because that was almost the number one thing before even nutrition. Also helping families learn about just making a better option sometimes. Usually it's right there on the shelf, and it's not always the more expensive option. and not always the organic option.
It's funny because that's what you just said, right, Danielle, about the fruit snacks. You thought you were getting a healthier one.
I'm like, this is great. It was terrible.
Yeah. And just teaching about the marketing, how on the front of packages, what to look out for. And it looks all great. And then you flip the package around and really learning how to read ingredients and what's in our food, what to look for and what to look out for.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so you're going to be offering help with like meal planning. You said stress management, family planning for meals.
Meal planning. Yep. We do, I'll do recipe makeovers with you, or do any sorts of, working right with your family so that everybody's different, not what you want to plan for your meals for the week, or what works best for your kids would work, for Danielle.
Right.
Also dealing with, there's so many allergies that we see these days. And you have
gluten-free
or gluten-free, and you have a family and all of a sudden the next child is dairy-free and you're like, how do we navigate this?
Yeah, how do you accommodate
with the other children in the family, and how to make that work. So
yeah, it's very tough. Well, we appreciate all the tips today, and we appreciate you coming on. It was fun to talk about that. I can't believe Colton's going to kindergarten. You've got done with school.
Done with
school.
I know.
But
I'm so glad that you gave me tips before he goes to school.
You still have a couple of days.
I wrote notes. I'm not kidding. I have time to implement. I will let you know how it goes.
That's good. Danielle's going to be giving us a full recap of the first couple of days of kindergarten and school lunches and that. But we hope everyone has a good back to school season here, whether it's coming up or still a month away. But I think it's time for us to clock out and clock back into the 9 to 5.
Yes. Thank you guys. And honestly, we'll post everything to be able to get in touch with Veronica if you want to set up a consultation or anything like that to help your family get healthy.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.